Hi, welcome to Oxygen Ditamap. So I'm Challa Prabhu here. So the earlier we left at creating a Ditamap. Now we'll be adding some topics to the Ditamap. Okay. So this is a Ditamap, the storage area network. So I right click on storage area network, and you have to click on append a child. This functionality most of them forget at the early stages when they learn data, but then as you keep just remember this. Okay. Now append and then come to topic reference. Now topic reference, you have list of topics from both the concept, task, and other topic types. So you choose a concept type or any based on the prefixes that you have assigned to the file name. Now here I have got a C plus prabhu.3.data, so I'll just click on that. So you will get the file type as a data. Okay, then URL for that particular file where it is located, and ID is ID that is associated with particular, or I can just go to some other file here. Okay, now I'll go to a different location altogether, so it will be easy for us to know that we'll go to document, and then yes, then training, OxygenXML, I'll go to concept, then here I'll come to history. So you'll see that you'll see all the details are complete here. Then it's insert. So it got inserted a history plot tab here. Okay, this is how you try to keep adding this topics in the data map. Then you go and generate this topic. Okay. Similarly, I just want to say one more thing is you can click on this. Okay, and also can go to edit. You can go to edit and then change the property here, right? Okay, so if it's storage network, I can just go to status. It is storage. Now you will see that it's changing to storage, right? At the same time, I can also double click it, and you will see that this particular topic is open on the right hand side. And I'll tell you the number of topics that have been associated to the data map. Now here also I can go and change it to SAN, which is called as SA SAN. So now if I come here and save this topic, you will see that particular name is changed to SAN. So this is how you keep adding to that particular. The most important being that you should right click on that, come and append a child. So get over. Now there's one more thing that I would like to talk here is how we are going to associate what after. So what after creating this data map? Now you have to go and generate it. Okay, when you generate it, you have to choose what is actually what are the output that you actually wish to generate, and accordingly you press apply associated, and then it will generate the output for you. Okay, so that's one way. So this is how you work. And then I just wanted to tell you that because as a technology you have been just working on data, it's always necessary for you to also develop your domain knowledge. Okay, that's the only way that's going to really evaluate and assess your capabilities in this technical writing field. So mere just creating a document will not be sufficient for you. So let me show you an example. Like for example, you have Microsoft Office on your desktop for quite a long time, right? It's there for nearly for the last 3 decades. Now, what did you actually do with that application? Just like a Microsoft browser is there for the last 3 decades, you have been looking at browser as a browser, right? But you must have seen the capabilities of that pages that are today when compared to 3 years down the line. Because in web you have seen Web 1.0, which is a static page. You have seen Web 2.0 as a page which will help help you communicate with the page itself, which means that it allows you for distributor authoring. And then 3 is what you talked about. It means you talked about a blockchain, you talked about a cryptocurrency, you talked about many are decentralized and also smart contract and many other things. So the power of the particular web page has increased, but still we have not really understood what it is. Okay. So the next thing we have to always have to go and understand what is the growth path of web technology. What is it going to be next 5 years down the line? We also saw some presentations saying that there are going to be aggregated services from a web page, which is going to give you based on the request based on certain requests, the the schematic web service is going to be applied on that particular request that you make. So those are the power based on that. But when I come into Microsoft Office, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you something called web. I'm going to talk about web 4.0. Okay, and also you have to see that these applications, you never get demoralized when you work on applications like Microsoft Office and things like that, because they're all from the leading vendor products, so they guide you across each and every iterations of the software that get released. Okay, mind that, it's very important. So, and now I'm going to show you something called what what developers call it as applet. Developers call it as Java applet, or Microsoft calls it as Activist controls, and by people who are working on the Microsoft Office level are going to call it as object linking and embedding. Okay, so this is exactly what I want to tell you. So can we not understand those terminologies from the desktop level? Yes, you can. Or else what will happen is you have to go to the glossary and see those terminologies and get the appropriate definition for that. Similarly, it's called as a, you have to create a definition file also for those technologies. But they're all there on your system, right? Well, let me go and have a quick view about what it is like. Okay. Okay. Now here this is a Word document. Okay. If I go to a Word document and just click on the task here, task manager, you will say that there's only Microsoft Word. There's no Microsoft Excel here, right? So if I double click on this, okay. If I double click on this particular Word document, now you still, when you click on the right, you will never see Excel inside, because it is an in-process communication. In-process communication means it is a Microsoft Excel embedded in a Microsoft Office, which enables you to use all the Microsoft related functions inside the Microsoft Office. Okay, that means it's just a single process. So this is called as an in-process communication. So what happens is, in real analogy, you might have used a PDF file inside the Microsoft browser. You would have used a Word document inside it. You can see many other things. So Wikipedia. So they are all web services for the matter, but they are all a web browser. It's a container, and you got all the relevant applications coming within it. So in Microsoft Word and what do you call that functionality? We call it as in-process communication. Okay, we also call it as an OLE component. Okay, so which means although you have Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and all that actually have different file format, they can communicate with each other to a technology called a component object model. And if you want to talk to the developers, you have to tell them like, okay, it is a sort of a proxy and stub. And the communication between these two proprietary formats are done through marshalling. Okay, that word is also there. So if I just show you this particular presentation, I've got 10 to 15 terminologies that you have to understand. Okay, so that's a clue. That's a real crucial part of it. Don't please use any application just for the sake of it. There are many similar functionality implemented by various vendors in different way. So you have to understand how that particular thing is being used. So so those leading products are basically the that make us a knowledge workers. Okay, so if you know that and because this is the best application where you can understand how application from desktop has been moved to various processor like 62-bit architecture, like 16-bit architecture, 32-bit architecture, 64-bit architecture. Then it moved on to enterprise level application. Then it moved into software plus service architecture, when there was once where Google was of the notion that network centric is the future, when Microsoft was talking about a software plus a service architecture, where an individual would only go to a network only after completing his work at the desktop level. So there's no necessary in getting a persistent connect to the network, even when the documentation still is not in the draft phase at all. Okay, that was a debate going on then, and now we are on to Office 365. So my question is, you need not necessarily have to think about artificial intelligence or machine learning unless and until you feel comfortable working with all the menus and functionality and features of every desktop application. I can go chat GPT and AI and tell Microsoft application to do all the job for me. I saw someone even can just go and tell them to develop a data topic for me. But those are not the intentions behind learning this application. It is like you have to know how much of effort the developers have gone into developing an application for us, which will help us make our life more easier. Okay, so even Microsoft Explorer was there way back when Windows 95. It was the first application that brought a REST API with a query string parameter applied at the header level itself. None of them new, because the present generation is more into internet. They're more into very responsible web page. They're more into various device layouts. So we have to be very clear telling that you have to at least sometimes go back and then come back, because the backward compatibility is always important. Otherwise, you won't be able to reuse your efforts, what was developed previously, and how you are going to take it forward. Okay, so you also have to look into this menus on the top and see what are those menus. Why did the Microsoft change from a pull-down menu to a ribbon menu? So these are certain things you should keep on asking yourself. Okay, so what I want to say is, what you want to say is, I just want to say, okay, if I go to Task Manager, I won't see Excel here for your kind information. It is in process. It is a process running within a process, okay? Just like you say metadata, data within a data. But there has to be relevant supporting explanation for that. So I'm trying to show you this. The one which you're seeing on the right hand side is all the application that is running for the time being. Okay. Now, what is the question? And many of them said like, okay, if you're working on OxygenXML, what would be one thing that you would ask OxygenXML to implement? Fine, that's a very good question, because see, having put so much of effort into creating each data topic, and then later on going and generating output for the generating output that I actually need, it is going to keep me waiting for some time until that page has been rendered to XML file. But then I would probably ask for an XML tab here below, because if I look at the text file, I can see the XML format of that particular data document which is here. So why should I go and generate or probably render a XML file through that process? I could really have an immediate look at this, because XML requires a very less tag than the number of tags number of elements and tags that you have put into the document here. Okay, so with this particular format, if I could if I view the XML within the editor itself, now possibly I need not have to render and make it as an output. That would be that from my perspective. So that's one area that. And then for those who are using this for the first time, I would request you to kindly get in touch with the training@metapercept.com. Please share your word across to many people who would really prefer to know more about it at metapercept.com. And there are many experts there who have a lot of knowledge and been there for a long time in this industry for training technical writers at large. So thank you so much. I hope you loved the session. And please feel free to get in touch with the email address that I have given below. And do not hesitate, because because the experts will be really happy to get all your issues resolved. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.